Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marcello Currents reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day. Yeah, so this video basically is going to be about marking the era of a certain era of America. There's going to be many eras that's going to be um, dying in this country. And the one that died recently was the FedEx guy killing the little girl. Now, when the delivery guy that you're supposed to be giving a tip to, the one that you give your money to, your hard-earned money to, starts to kill your children unprovoked, that's the end of an era. You can know, and these things mark the end of an era. You can't say it's the same world. That's a seven. You can't, and that's what's wrong with a lot of you right now. You still hanging on to a world that no longer exists. You listen. You're in a state of nostalgia. You're in a state of nostalgia. You're reminiscing with things of the past. You're reminiscing with things of how it used to be. And in reality, it's nothing here like that. Where's the evidence of what the world used to be like, what America used to be? All them 80s, the years in the 80s and the 90s. Where's the proof of the mentality and the people that are like people from the 80s and the 90s? Where's the proof? Old women and old men? That's the proof? That culture's gone. That mentality's gone. These kids now are killing people like it's going out of style. Or like it's in style. So now the FedEx guy kills this 7-year-old girl in Texas. We don't hear no protests, like I told you, from your community. Your community is ashamed of this. You don't have the police bowing a knee. What would be wrong with that? Why can't the police bow a knee today in honor of this little girl? You know why they're not going to do it? Because they're too ashamed of what has happened. It's more shame than activity. See what happens in your country? When things happen, you're not moved to activity, you're moved to shame. You go into hiding. But as soon as somebody come out that you think is doing something wrong, you come out of hiding, don't you? You're in hiding today. You know why? Because you're ashamed. You're ashamed of America. It ain't time to be ashamed. It's time to be moved to action. That's a 7. It's not time to be ashamed. It's time to move to action. But this marks the end of an era. It marks the end of an era. You know, you've been hanging on to this world that no longer exists any longer. It doesn't exist. Okay? That world that you once lived in America does not exist anymore. This guy, the house that this little girl lived in, or the land that she lived on, was it was a lot of land. I'm thinking it's probably like maybe 2 to 5 acres or something like that. Because she was playing, from my understanding, she was playing way away from the house. And that explains why the parents or the people that lived in the house, the guardians, didn't see it. The guardians of this girl did not see what was going on because she was playing way away from the house, right? So this FedEx guy took full advantage of that. Abducted her, and she was killed within an hour of her abduction. Within an hour of her abduction, she was killed. And you're looking for the bad guys. Meanwhile, you're sitting up labeling people as weirdos and strange people. Yeah, I'm gonna get on you. Yeah, I'm gonna get on you. You know I am, because I'm showing you that it's you. I'm showing you that it's your community. It's your people. And who you gonna blame? Black magic? You gonna blame God? Oh, you blaming the prophet of God? Well, unfortunately, you can't blame me. How you gonna blame me for something somebody else did? See, if supernatural power had that much authority in your earth realm, then we would have been made everybody to kill each other. Whether it's the prophets or whether it's the dark side. So there's one thing that you're overlooking. Free will. Free will. This FedEx driver had free will to deliver the boxes and kick rocks, or deliver boxes and then kill a little girl. He decided with his free will, which we all have, to kill this girl. This man was not a foreigner like you like to paint from the Middle East. He was not a Middle Eastern foreigner invading your country, terrorizing your country. This was a man working for FedEx. How much more American does it get? How much more American does it get than FedEx? He's working for an all-American country. All-American company. Pretty American, right? He had to be pretty American, interacting with the citizens, interacting with Americans, delivering things, getting tips, seeing the people, Some would say most FedEx guys might be more inclined to be a little more friendlier than the average American. Yet, in all of that, in all those dynamics, he kills a little girl. And see, you know what I'm watching? I'm not only watching what happened, I'm watching your response to what happens. Because you're the type of people that go and witch hunt people. But then when you see the real monsters, you're getting ashamed. Nah, this ain't the time to be ashamed. It's time to keep the same energy. It's time for you to witch hunt and protest as you've been doing in your little imaginary world. In your little imaginary world, you've been playing games. Yeah. Playing games in your little imaginary world. Now I'm showing you the real monsters. I'm pointing out the real monsters. And you ain't got nothing to say. And you know what? God's looking at that. Oh yeah, he's looking at that. Because while you're in your little imaginary world, we're living in the real world. While you're living in alter realities, we're talking about what's happening in real reality. And you can be nonchalant about it, but God's not nonchalant about it. You can be, but God's not. So you know what that means? While you think your country deserves to go on, why would God think that your country deserves to go on? Ask yourself that. Besides the fact that you're an American country, besides that fact, why does America deserve to live? Tell me why. It make sense when you talk about it. Don't tell me about your family because every country has family. Don't tell me about your family because every country has family. That's obvious. That's not what makes you live. Unfortunately, in the real world. And what Americans are starting to realize, what you're going to see, is that you having family doesn't mean anything. All these other countries have family. All these other countries have family. What your family got to do with whether you deserve to live or not? Well, if we were going by that, then everybody be alive. Now, wouldn't they? We're not going by that. In fact, we're going by when your country is no longer safe for families. Well, looks like your country is no longer safe for children. I just said that on Facebook just not too long ago. What people need to come to terms with is that America is no longer safe for children. And I don't care how you want to look at it. I don't care what you're talking about in your Pacific neighborhood. I don't care about your neighborhood. I'm talking about the overall America. It's not safe for children. When a child can't even play in a country place down in Texas without some FedEx guy coming and killing them. This is the real America that you live in. This is what I'm showing you. I'm showing you the real America. I'm putting the passion behind it that would be normal for a normal human being. But you like to look at it as, oh, I'm taking advantage of it. How am I taking advantage of it? It's right there. I don't have to. I don't have to manipulate. Everyone can easily see that I am telling the truth about your country. You have legitimate enemies now. You have people who hate you for all the right reasons. And that's what you have not come to terms with. So again, why do you deserve to live? Because you Americans? Because you are American? Well, what does that mean to God? What does that mean to God? We're Americans. And so what? Who cares? Who cares if you're an American? So what? What does that mean to God? Not much, does it? Not much at all. So you thought you was part of God's plan. Oh, let's be 100. These preachers and a lot of these preachers and politicians think that because they're the superpower of the world, we're part of God's plan. He's using us to do these things in the world. Well, Babylon was one of the most powerful countries, wasn't it? Babylon, Egypt, they were not a part of God's plan. Your power is not a signification that you're part of God's plan. That part. Who cares if you have all the power? You are not a part of God's plan. Well, we already see you got 44 states for child marriage. Is that part of God's plan? You just passed your last child marriage law 3 years ago. That's part of God's plan. So you're doing many, many things outside of God's plan, thinking you're in God's plan. Will you stop saying God bless America? That's the kingdom of God, the kingdom that I come out of. Will you stop saying God bless America, please? Can you stop doing that? Can you stop saying God bless America? God don't bless no mess. That's what us Christians say. God don't bless no mess. Okay? And you living in the state of nostalgia. Oh, okay, you remember good old America, but guess what? Good old America does not exist anymore. Good old America does not exist anymore. You know what exists? You know what country you live in? Where the FedEx man is killing Chip, a 7-year-old girl, around Christmas time, around the holiday times, in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's the world you live in. Whether you want to blame me for it, whether you want to think I'm doing something to make it happen, whatever you believe, bro. The bottom line is, the reality is someone used their free will. I wasn't in the car, was I? Was I in the truck with the guy? See, you don't know how to blame the right people. And guess what? When real stuff happens, where are you? I want to see, hey, everybody watching my video, watch how America does not respond to this little girl getting killed. Watch how they do not respond. Watch how the police departments do not respond. Watch how the community overall do not respond. Okay, Texas is supposed to be wearing pink to acknowledge this little girl. Okay. But we need to hear your words. Okay, pink is cool to wear. You know, they do that. That's cool. They do that for October, for breast cancer month, right? That's cool, right? We need to hear your words on how your country is out of control. And you may feel like, oh, well, that's our way. No, 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 no. We need to hear words. We need to hear articulation. Because all you're doing is, okay, you're mourning. All you're doing is creating a mourning vigil. You know what I'm saying? Nah, we ain't talking about that. That's like the equivalent of burning candles for the little girl that got killed. Nah. We need you to realize it's the end of an era where when the FedEx man gets up and kills a little girl while he's on the clock. Not a guy that is an employee at FedEx only. He did it while he was on the clock, buddy. He did it while he was on the clock. That part. And see, you think this is a game, like I'm doing this for entertainment. And it's not for entertainment. I'm showing you your community and how they are. I'm showing you that. You know, and the main people that's out here talking about they do this for kids, well, I want to see what you do. I want to see what you do. I want to see how you make your voice known. Because you the main one sitting up here crying about these children all the time. We want to see what you do then. Okay? We want to see what you do. That's all. Is that a reasonable request? We want to see what you do because you crying all the time. What's going on with these kids? What's going on with these kids? Well, I'm showing you what's going on with these kids. I'm showing you. And there's no doubt about it. That's why I told you on this channel, this is not opinions. This is facts. I'm showing you a facts. This ends an era, man. You can't go backwards when this happens. See, you've underestimated the power of one act against one human being. Oh, yeah. When you played around with me, you did that too. You underestimated the power of an act against one human being. Now look at your country. Look at it for what it is, bruh. Look at you. You know what I'm saying? Look at you with your bad self. Look at ya. That's all I'm saying. Look at ya. Now what you gonna say? Because you say, well, we stand with America. Well, you know that FedEx guy is? He's an American. Probably was proud to be an American. Pretty sure he probably got, I bet you if you go to his house, he got some American flags on some shirts or some hats. How much you want to put on that? How much you want to put on the fact that he probably got some kind of American paraphernalia at his house? How much you want to put on that, bro? Bro, how much you want to put on it? I guarantee you at his house, there's some type of American paraphernalia. He's an American. But see, you see, when you get the bad ones in America, you don't want to own him. Yeah, he's not your prize fighter. He's not your prize pit bull. You don't want to acknowledge that guy. But he represents, he's starting to represent the average person here. Which means, whether you like it or not, buddy, he marks the definition. He signifies the definition. He defines who you are. He ain't from nowhere else. His mentality, how can he have a mentality of somewhere else? In all actuality, it's possible, but it's not likely, right? It's more likely that his mentality is that of an American. In all actuality, he has he has the mentality of an American. I'm pretty sure he do. He just went into some little world. Can you explain how these people are pushing people in New York on the trains? What's that about? What it's all about, bro? I'm trying to understand what it's all about. So they are not Americans. They don't identify, they don't define Americans. Well, here's what you need to understand if you're smart. As a smart individual, you have to come to terms with the facts that if someone is if it's a lot of people doing one thing, that defines you as a people. You become the minority. Good people become the minority. And guess who becomes the majority? The crazy people. And guess what that means? They define Americans. So guess what's going on? The minorities became the majority, and the crazy people are now defining who you are. Hey, the more this goes on, the more it's safe to assume that this has become the majority of the American community's perspective. It's not far-fetched to feel like, hey, on the average, people are crazy here. On the average, people killing kids here. Well, didn't they just report about a lady killing two of her two children? Her two children, huh? That just happened less than 2 or 3 weeks ago. Then the FedEx guy comes up and kills a little girl down in Texas. So one is in New York, one is in Texas. You know what that means to me? It's not even a regionally cultural thing. It's not a culture of a Pacific region. When you got it happening in New York, in the Bronx, for crying out loud, in the heart of New York. And then you got it way down in Texas, in the heart of the South. That part, that's a 7. Killing kids have went to the heart of the North and the heart of the South. You can't say it's a Southern thing, can you? When it's happening right there in the Bronx. You can't say that, can you? So it's safe to say what I'm saying is true. It's the end of an era of a safe place for children in this child-friendly community and child-friendly culture. That's gone. When you have the FedEx guy now, not some wayward biker with a Harley on bad times, falling on bad times. Not some wayward thug all around the streets, sleeping on the streets. I'm trying to show you. This part matters too. Not some druggie, that done gave up on life. Some heroin addict or some K2 addict, smoking spice, smoking K2. Not one of them. Not someone taking bath soap and snorting bath soap. Not one of them either. A FedEx guy. You know how FedEx guys or drivers are esteemed in the American community? Everybody likes to see them coming. Most people, hey, that's a hardworking guy. That's how they look at you. He's a FedEx man. Open the door for that man. Yeah, get out the way. Open the door for that man. That's the FedEx guy. But you see what your FedEx guy did? While you esteeming him as one of your own, somebody that you are endeared with in your community, someone that you love in your community. That guy. Not the wayward gangster that done fell on hard times. Not that guy. That's the guy you put your nose up at. Uh-huh. Like I don't know that. Like I don't know that. Yeah. You talking about terrorists. What's that right there? You talking about terrorists. You serious? You want to have that conversation? When you got gang stalkers all in your country. You want to have a terrorist conversation? What is a terrorist? By definition, someone that tries to install fear into the community. Okay, what the gang stalkers is doing then? They're trying to make their targeted individual or the person that they're targeting, the gang stalkers in America, they're trying to install fear in those individuals. That's a terrorist by definition. That's a domestic terrorist. That's what I told you. These are war crimes going on. You can call it what you want to call it. They are terrorists, domestic terrorists. Why you think it was me? Why you thought it was me? That's funny. You thought I was a domestic terrorist. Then what are these? Then what are these white gang stalkers? Then what are they? What are the white gang stalkers? What are these black and Mexican gang stalkers out here? They're not terrorists. Oh, you put a different name on it, didn't you? See, that's why I like to go by definitions. Because definitions cuts all the crap. Definitions cuts all the crap of opinions and bias assumptions and all of that. You can't be biased when I give you a definition. You can't deny what I'm saying when I give you a definition. You can't deny it. A definition is what defines the person or a place, a culture, etc., etc. That's why definitions are so important. And I'm going to do a video about that too. Definitions are important because it cuts the crap. It cuts the crap. You don't want to admit that 44 states with child marriage is pedophilia. That's pedophilia. That's pedophilia. What words are you using for it? What is it? What is it to you? Huh? What you call it? By definition, I cut the crap. By definition, I cut the crap. That part. While you sitting up here with a biased attitude, saying this, that, and the third, and trying to act nonchalant about it. And if you're nonchalant about it, hey, that's you. Maybe you're just a nonchalant type of individual. But it's too many Americans that are not nonchalant. Okay? And they can try to hide. They can try to hide. They can try to be quiet, but they have already proven how nonchalant they are when it comes to children. And I'm just showing you another example where the FedEx guy, who you esteem as better than me and better than my people like me, you esteem the FedEx guy as the hard-working guy. He's a hard-working guy. Give that guy a tip. Give him a tip. It's the holidays. Give the FedEx guy a tip. But he's the one that killed your kid. At the end of the day, whether you like it or not, he's the one that killed your kid. The one that you trust. I keep telling y'all this time and time again. It's the people that you trust that is doing the most to your children. And I am not assuming this. I am proving this with facts. So I'm cutting the crap while you're playing crappy games. I don't need your respect. I respect myself. When I'm the one showing you way before it happened. Way before it happened. I've been telling you this. America is not safe for children. America puts children in harm's way, but projects themselves. You see where it's coming to? It's not racism that's the problem now. Only. It's not only racism. Now you can't, your children are in danger. Now what you gonna say about that? Oh, it's gonna be okay? Okay. Wait till these crazy people who are crazy for children, wait till they find out about 44 states with child marriage. Wait till they find out what you got going on. You can say it's gonna change, they're gonna make it change. Hey, I'm not inciting a riot, I'm not inciting violence. It's gonna happen. Once they find out what's going on, once the crazy people that like to blow up abortion clinics, you know the type. You know the type. The ones that take it a little too far. Yeah. Wait till they find out you got child marriage in America. Oh, it ain't got to them yet. It's just got to nonchalant you, the nonchalant people, the ones that's too ashamed to admit the realities of what's going on. Yeah, because you quiet today, you ain't talking about, listen, that FedEx guy killed the girl. Not his girlfriend, not one of his family members. He killed somebody else's child, man. And that girl is not coming back. I'm sorry to tell you. She's not coming back, buddy. And you could think I'm playing with real news. You could think I'm playing with real life. You know what I think? I think you playing in general. I think you're playing in general. And what I'm saying, I've been saying it before it happened. I told you America is not what it projects itself to be. Look at it for what it is. He is an American. He's not a gang stalker. He represents you, your culture. He had a FedEx job, for crying out loud. A FedEx job. And watch, it's going to get more and more common, all this crazy foolishness. And you're going to have to conclude, whether you like it or not, like I said, that crazy people have become the majority and people that think like you have become the minority. That's what's happening. That's absolutely what is happening. You are becoming the minority. And you know what that means? Then you can no longer define who America is. You can try. You can try to pull wool over my eyes like I don't know no better. You don't know, you no longer define what an American is by culture and by character and integrity. You just passed your last child marriage law 3 years ago. That ain't the change in America. When you're still making child marriage laws, that's not change. That's not old stuff, that's new stuff. That's a 7. That's not old stuff, that's new stuff. You just passed your last child marriage law 43 years ago. That's good right there. This is not old stuff, this is new stuff. When you passed the last child marriage law in July 1st, 2019. This ain't old stuff, this is new stuff. This is new stuff. And guess what that means? The old America, what you've been talking about, does not exist when you're doing new stuff as child marriage, marrying children in 9 states now. July 1st, 2019, that allows them, this is a different law that allows them to marry children at any age. Now, okay, it might not be to an extreme, but guess what? This new law that was passed, you still got 44 states with child marriage. You still got that. That's a law. But this other law that was passed, which, you know what's more powerful about, you know what's the power behind this law? Is that the mentality is still here. I don't care how this child marriage law is dressed up. It's the fact that the mentality is still here in 2022 because it was passed 2019. Right? That means the mentality is still here. That's all I need to define. That's all I need to show you. is that this is new stuff. Child marriage is new stuff in your country. And I don't know what you think you're going to do. I don't know what you think you're going to do. But this is good. This is how I'm hitting it. I'm hitting it the proper way. I'm showing you. I'm showing you what other people are not showing you. And I'm consistent. Whether you hate me, whether you spit on me, you spit on my name, you dirty my name. Guess what? Guess what? I'm consistent through it all. I am consistent through it all. And now you're starting to see for yourself how bad it is concerning the children. See, listen. Prophets are always ahead. We're always ahead. We're always ahead of everybody so that you don't have a collision. We're always ahead of everybody so you don't have a collision to save you from destruction. That's how I look at it. Because I'm showing you right here. I'm showing you right here. And what you gonna say? Well, it's not everybody. Why is it happening so frequently now? Why is it becoming more frequently if it's not everybody then? It's never going to be everybody. By the way, that's why I don't like that saying. How is it ever going to be everybody? Huh? How everybody's going to do the same thing? Make it make sense. Make it make sense like the young people say. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, please. Everybody ain't going to do the same thing. Right? But more times than not, we starting to see more frequently people killing their own children. This defines your culture and your community. And if you're a good person, you're the minority, just like the Christians, like we are. Hey, you in the same box with us now. Yeah. Yeah, at first you was with America. Y'all could dance together, party together. Hey, you over here with the Christians now, buddy. You gotta be. You gotta be. When the FedEx guy is killing the kid, the FedEx guy? Wow. Guess you had a lot on your mind, didn't you? That's a shame. You can't even trust people to deliver your boxes. I mean, think about it. You can't even trust people to deliver your boxes anymore. That guy might be the one that want to kill your community, your family. You can't even trust him anymore. And that means it's an end of an era. Bottom line, it's the end of an era. When now you have to look twice at the FedEx guy. That part, that's a 7. You got to look twice at the FedEx guy now. You got to make sure your kid's out the front yard and the backyard when the FedEx guy comes. That part. Ow. You can't have your kids slipping now when the FedEx man come by. And the holidays just got jumping. The holidays just now jumping. And now your whole community on alert with the FedEx guy now. Who wants to be that guy now? Right around the holidays when he's doing most of his work. Who wants to be them now? That part. And now and I know how many of you are. We got to get the kids out. We got to get the kids out at the yard. The FedEx guy's coming. Hey, I ain't taking no chances. Call the babies. Call them in. Call them in. After 5 o'clock, they can come out and play. Your kids can't even come and play no more if you use proper discretion when the FedEx guy comes. That day, they got to come in the house. Because it's an end of an era, and now you'll be a fool to let your child be subject to the same situation, saying, well, we trust them. We're going to trust our FedEx guy. What FedEx guy? It's always a random guy. You don't have no normal FedEx guy. So in discretion, better than to be safe than sorry, You can't even have your kids outside when the FedEx man come. Boom. And you talking to me about what? About who? Can't be serious. Can't be serious. See, we already know it's there. You don't know that. That guy was already here. He didn't come out of space, did he? Did he come from Mars? So he was already here, right? So he was already crazy here among you. That part. Why you labeling me as the enemy? That man was already crazy among you. That's the 7th album. And you didn't detect him, did you? That's the funny part. They trying to detect everybody, but you don't detect the people that's doing the crazy stuff. Hey, you find out that what he do after the fact. That part. You got people pushing people on trains. Hey, you didn't detect him, did you? Hey, you ain't detect them, did you? Nah, I gotta do this, man, because they think they doing something, but the crazy people still doing what they doing. That's what I'm saying. They still doing what they doing, though. While you out here trying to act like you doing something. While you out here thinking you fighting crime. While you out here thinking you detect the enemy. While you out here thinking you finding the villains. It gotta be done. It gotta be done. Hey, I refuse for it not to be done. They sitting up painting you as the enemy and can never seem to find the crazy people that's doing stuff, right? Can never seem to find them, can they? That part. But you finding everybody else, though. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about that part. Let's talk about the part where you never get, where you pull up after the fact. When you do that more on the average, where you're pulling up on crimes on kids and innocent people after the fact that had nothing to do with nothing. People getting pushed on tracks and stuff that had nothing to do with nothing. Not a drug deal gone wrong. Not a drug deal gone bad. Nah, not that. You know, not rival gangs. That part. So you know what that tells you? It marks an end of an era. You see people pushing people on the train and subway in New York. Now, how long that's been going on? Huh? How long have people been pushing people on trains in New York? Listen, I didn't hear about this in the 80s. I'm pretty sure it happened here and there. You know, didn't hear about it in the 90s. Not really. Didn't hear it like this big deal, right? Didn't hear about it in the early 2000s. Didn't hear about it from 2010 to 2020. Didn't hear about it. So guess what that means, buddy? It marks an end of an era. You're not the same country you once was. You're not. Right here in New York, this is supposed to be the capital. See, what they try to hide is that New York is basically the capital of the world. Not only the capital of what I consider the capital of America, they try to hide that too. Well, DC, how's DC the cultural capital? How's DC the capital? New York basically is the capital. And some would say, because you're the superpower of the country, of the world, that it's the capital of the world. Pretty much, right? I mean, does it get more cutting edge, culturally speaking, than New York? Not really, do it? Not really. See, I understand that. You didn't have to tell me, boom, Al. You didn't have to tell me that. I pay attention. And right here in New York, you got people pushing people on trains, man, for fun. For fun. Doing it for fun. Doing it for fun. And you telling me it ain't the end of an era? Oh, it's just normal. It's just like it was in the 80s. You tripping. You're tripping hard. When you sitting up playing games, contest, gang stalking contest. Meanwhile, kids are being killed in your country. Meanwhile, people are being pushed on trains unprovoked, slashed in New York on their faces unprovoked, while you playing gang stalking games. Huh. That part. Like fully grown people, I guess, right? Who does that? What fully grown person gang stalks in 2022? Maybe the 80s. I'm not saying do it at all, but the 80s, the 90s, okay, I don't know. Now, it's not funny. It's played out. When now, everyday citizens has caught up to the foolishness that you're doing. Well, the guy that's pushing people on the trains is worse than the gang stalkers. Hey, how you gonna make us scared of you when people are pushing people on trains now? How you gonna make us scared of you as gang stalkers? How you gonna intimidate Americans when people are killing, the FedEx guys killing 7-year-old girls? See, what you don't realize is we become tougher than what you doing now. That's a 7 album. You can't scare me with no gang stalking. You got people pushing people on trains for crying out loud. You got people killing 7-year-old girls during the holiday seasons. If you don't know, it's the holiday seasons right now. I know. You sidestepping the whole situation. I'm pointing out everything. I'm pointing out all of it. This the holiday seasons. The FedEx man knows that more than anybody. Doesn't he know it's the holiday season? Wow. Guess he's not in the holiday spirit now, is he? I couldn't resist that one. And I'm not joking, but hey, I'm pointing it out. Hey, some people are naturally funny. I can't help it. Guess he's not in the holiday spirit. Guess he's short of a cocoa, hot chocolate cocoa, huh? I guess he's short of a cup of cocoa, huh? Ain't he? I guess he's short of a cup of hot chocolate, isn't he? He's short of a cup of hot chocolate, isn't he? But here you are trying to play games with me. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the FedEx guy, who's more familiar, aware that it's the holiday times, here he is killing a 7-year-old girl. When he's aware that it's Christmas time, it's holiday season for her. She's the one more anticipating it than all of us. A 7-year-old girl, that's almost perfect Christmas recipient, if you will. Christmas gifts recipients. The most greatest Christmas gifts recipient would probably be a 7-year-old girl. She's not too young, so she don't get the little baby toys anymore. That part. She doesn't get the little fruits and things. She doesn't get the little things that she, because the kid can't really tell what they got, so you give them little stuff because they're babies. She gets dolls and expensive things at 7 years old. He overrode all of that holiday season, 7-year-old girl anticipating Christmas, and killed a 7-year-old girl after Thanksgiving. That's the middle. Basically, this is the middle of the holiday seasons. After Thanksgiving, before Christmas. Okay? I'm trying to show you, man, you cannot accept it. America is becoming your enemy. I gotta say it how it is. And it ain't no extreme. How is it an extreme when it's happening on the average? So it's an extreme for me to feel this way, but it's happening all the time. Okay? It's happening all the time. Enemy like people all around, all the time, doing stuff all the time. So, but it's an extreme for me to feel like your community is becoming the enemy. It's an extreme for me to feel this way. That's what I'm trying to show you. This ain't an illogical thinking. Look around. They're becoming the enemy. Well, your enemy, when they push people on trains, that could be you, which would be your enemy. Killing kids out in the yard delivering FedEx packages, that could have been your kid. That's the enemy. Now you see what I'm saying? It's the common people among you that's becoming your enemy, which makes technically America your enemy. I don't care what you think if we all together. We're not all together when kids are being killed in their yards. We're not all together when people are pushing people on trains off onto the tracks. That whole unity thing, where is it? It's all in your head, and it's a thing. It's a pastime thing, man. It's a pastime thing. You know what's really going on? Everyday people are becoming your enemy, which makes it safe to say that Americans or America is becoming your enemy. That's how evil it is. That the people among you are becoming your enemy. Well, hey, if someone's, listen, I can't stress this enough. If somebody is pushing you on a train, if somebody is pushing you on the train tracks, some American, these are people with social security numbers here in America. These are Americans. They have American IDs, American driver licenses, et cetera, et cetera. These are American residents. These are residents of America. These are the people pushing your fellow citizens on tracks. You are becoming your own enemy. I know you don't want to look at it that way. You want to look at it like we still all together. Where are we all together at? Where? Oh, your little pack of friends. Your little squad makes us all together. You got tunnel vision. Look around at the whole community. Where are we all together at? You can't find it, can you? Then you know what that means? We're in a fallen world, whether you like it or not. And I'm basing that on examples, real facts, and real stories. Not stuff I feel, not trying to turn you against America. I'm showing you what's going on. I'm showing you why I have turned against this country. It's right there for you to see. It's right there for you to see. And I'm supposed to feel a different kind of way? What kind of different kind of way I'm supposed to feel? What different kind of way I'm supposed to feel? You think like rich, famous people making money here. Of course, they're going to stick with America, rain, sun, and shine, because they got money to look forward to. I'm talking about everyday Americans. Why are you so persistent with a country that don't even that's becoming your enemy? A country that's becoming your enemy. These rich people can hide in the hills and still talk about unity. We love America. You know why you love America? Because you ain't got no problems. Come among the real Americans and see how much you want to be American. Come among the real Americans and then say how much you are a patriot. Yeah, you're a patriot in the military where you're protected by the whole military. You're a patriot as a police when you're armed and walking around here armed. You're a patriot when you are a politician protected by security. Won't you become one of us and see how much American you really are? Because you know what's happening? We're becoming our own enemies down here while you're living high on the hog. While you're living high on the hog, we're becoming our own enemy. While you're living high on the hog, we're becoming our own enemy down here in the real world in America. That's the facts, buddy. When people are pushing people on trains and when FedEx men are killing 7-year-old girls. See, rich people ain't affected by that. You ain't affected by that. So it's easy for you to talk about you a patriot. Why would I be a patriot? Explain to me. Huh? You tripping. You out of touch. Rich people, oh, you didn't think rich people could be out of touch? Oh, they are. They are. They can watch the news. They can have cousins and everything that knows what's going on in the hood. Until you live it and feel it for yourself and your brain and body goes through it, you're out of touch. You can't be in touch because you're not here. I don't care what you say. You ain't in touch. And this is no disrespect to old rappers, but that's why these old rappers be riding off young rappers' waves. You know why? Because you out of touch. You ain't down there no more in the hood. So you got to ride a young man. You got to ride a young rapper's wave. That part. Well, why your flow ain't the same? You know why? Because you're not in touch anymore. So now you done switched up to the new wave. That part. Boom. Well, won't you stick to what you're doing if you so in touch? Hey, if you so in touch with everything, why you got to switch it up then? Boom. That's an example of what I'm trying to tell you. These rich people are out of touch. They ain't down here. They don't know all the psychological stuff going on. They have no earthly idea. They don't even believe in it. They think we crazy. And we're becoming separated from all of them. That's what's happening. And you cannot let them show you these fake worlds that they live in and that you don't live in. See the difference between me and them? If I get money, because I'm spiritual, I'm still going to be able to still hit it where I'm going to still be able to talk about these issues because I'm connected to God. I'm a prophet. I don't have to be out there. I don't have to. Do you really see me out there? And how come I know? Because I'm spiritual. I'm spiritual for real. See, some of these people, they don't want me to get money because they think I'm going to disappear and go away. Well, God ain't going to let me do that. But I got to get away from the fools. I got to get away from the crazy people, whether you like it or not. I can't be on this level forever. That part. I can't, whether you like it or not, I cannot be on this level forever. When I'm constantly growing, when I'm constantly changing, how am I being here forever? How am I be on your level of living forever? You got to let go. You have to let go. And if you don't, then you become destroyed. You become destroyed because you're trying to hold on. Meanwhile, you're not placing a value on it. You know what white Americans say? They're not placing a value on what they're saying about you. They're not. Hey, I got to give it to them. They right, though. If you felt all these ways, this is what I'm able to extract things from what people say and insinuate, and I know what they're saying. They're basically saying you ain't putting a value on it. You ain't putting no value on it. I don't care who it is out there. You're not putting a value on it, and grown people get tired. That's the bottom line. You done got caught up in a game if you want to be 100. You done got caught up in the game, and it's like you're not putting a value on the situation. And that's where you lose. That's where you lose, buddy. Sorry to tell you, that's where you lose. You got to put value on stuff in the real world, buddy. You can't be walking around here playing around people's lives, talking about king and all of this, and you ain't putting no value on it. Nah, that don't work for grown people. That does not work for grown people in the real world. You got that part? I hope you do. I hope you do got it. Because it ain't going to work for me, buddy. Calling me a king and ain't putting no value on it, nah, that don't work for me. You know what works for me? Money. That's what works. And listen, you listen, people don't listen. When the man of God say it, oh, he's being a fat cat. He's being a fat cat. So what are all these rappers that got billions of dollars? What are they? You celebrate them, but let the man of God get more than $1 million. Now you cutting your eye at the man of God. The man of God should have it all more than anybody. Right or wrong? If we look at it on the level of blessings, let's look at it. Let me stay right there. I'm going to do a video about that too. If we look at it on the level of blessings, hear this part very closely. And who deserves the blessing? Who deserves the blessing? Come on. Everybody talking about blessings. Who deserve it then? Hoodlums? Former drug dealers? Former trap house drug dealers? They deserve the blessing. But God's people don't. I can show you in the Bible where it talks about blessings, tangible things. I can show you in the Bible. You listen to the Catholics. I'm not a Catholic. Catholics take vows of poverty. If we all took vows of poverty, where would the world be? You can't do nothing. How are you going to help children in taking vows of poverty? That's a 7. That part. How are you going to help the world taking vows of poverty? See, it looks good. It looks good to it's an image of righteousness. It's an image of holiness. It looks good, but think about it. It's stupid, ain't it? It's stupid. How you gonna help somebody and you broke? Huh? How you gonna help the world if you broke? They're doing it for self-glory. That's how I feel. Some of them are, maybe not all of them, but come on, let's keep it 100. At the end of the day, if it ain't godly, it's just, in that situation, it's like a self-glory. It's not godly. How are you gonna help the world, man? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So see, man, listen, you got to understand something. Real spirituality, in the real spirituality world, God's people should be having the blessing. It makes sense. Okay, the good guy gets the blessing, right? Pretty much, right? The good guy, the good woman, she gets the blessing. So then what am I supposed to be doing? Following God. The good guy's supposed to get the blessing, right? The good guy's supposed to have the money, right? Let's just break it down like that. The good woman's supposed to have the blessing, right? So what am I supposed to be doing? Huh? Waiting for you forever? Waiting for you to put a value on the most valuable person in your community. We ain't waiting forever, buddy. The ball is going to keep rolling, buddy. We're going to keep this ball rolling. You need to catch up and do what you got to do. Hey, you give people keys to the city all the time. I want more than keys to the city, buddy. You need to acknowledge what's going on, in other words, in monetary form. Okay? Ain't no, you listen, I don't have to be your friend. That's what you got to understand. You're waiting for me to act a certain way. I don't have to act a certain way. Listen, this is by definition this is what's supposed to happen. This is a fact. This is supposed to happen based on real happenings and activity, whether I'm with you or not. See, that's where maturity comes in. I might not like you, you might not like me, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I was right about all of this. Now you got the FedEx guy, that killing the girl, that marks, and you try and look at it like, oh, that's just another situation. Nah. I'm looking at what he did as an occupation. I'm looking at it actually coincidentally happened to be the most heightened time of the year for him. FedEx guy, he has the most work during this time between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So did he give up? Hey, did he get stressed out? Did he say, I ain't doing this Christmas stuff? You tell me what it is. He just gave up and said, I ain't doing this Christmas stuff, man. I'm getting out of this. Why ain't just quit? You tell me what it is when the FedEx man is at where he could be making the most money. He should have been focused on money. What was he focused on? He could have got overtime and everything. Why is he focused on the little girl killing the little girl? See, that's what I'm trying to show you, man. And you can easily say mental sickness. That's all you're going to say. That's all people going to sit back and say. Well, you know, mental sickness is getting out of control in America. No, I think evil. I think straight out evil is getting out of control in America. That's what I think. It's plenty mentally sick people that do not bother people. It's plenty mentally sick people that do not bother people. Right? Mental sickness doesn't mean you become a maniac. Mental sickness doesn't mean you become a violent serial killer. It does not mean that. That's evil. When the FedEx man, look, he ain't been killing nobody. So how you gonna really say this is mental sickness though? He seen particularly a little girl and he decided to kill her. That's the facts, buddy. And you gonna sit back and be quiet on it, ain't you? I'm not gonna let you be quiet. I'm not going to let you do that. When you out here yapping and playing games, I'm not going to let you do it. And you can look at it as another situation, and I'm not going to let you do that either. It marks an end of an era. That's what's going on. It's not you can't say it's the same times. You can't say it's the same world that you once lived in. You can't say that. You can't feel that way. How can you feel that way? And you have to come to terms with it. You got to come to terms with it. And stop playing games, acting like you so child friendly. We for the children. How? Who reflects this? Who among your real community reflects this? I'm looking for them. I'm trying to see who you saying. Huh? I'm trying to see who you're talking about. I don't see them. I do not see these people you're talking about. What I see is that America is killing their own children. If it's not biologically their children, it's the children that they should be protecting and guarding. And this is not a cop-out. If it was a cop-out, I would have just started talking about it now. I've been talking about this. I've been showing you this. And now you have tangible evidence of this fact, of things I've been talking about. Now you got tangible evidence and you can't deny it. You can't deny it. You cannot deny that I'm right. That these people are crazy and they're the ones that's the harm to the children. They the ones. These Americans. You got 44 states with child marriage. That ain't a danger to the community. That ain't a danger to the children. That's not a danger to the public. That's not a danger to the public. That's literally the worst thing that could be going on. What are you talking about? What's worse than that? Huh? What's the worst threat? 44 states with child marriage is a pretty big threat, buddy. For the well-being of your children, what they will become pets. They will become pets to people. Well, they don't even have a brain for themselves. You thought if they get married, it might not be that bad. They become pets. You think they become very good American citizens after being married as a child? It ruins them. Hi, you don't want to hear that, do you? Mm-hmm. But nevertheless, it's the facts, man. I'm tired of playing with people that's not wanting to face the facts, man. You know? And now you hate it because I'm right. I'm right. I'm right about it all. You know? FedEx guy can't keep his hands on them boxes. FedEx guy can't keep his hand on them packages. Can't keep his hand on the stuff he got to deliver. During the holidays now. In between Thanksgiving and Christmas. After Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was just what? Last Thursday? Right? I think, right? So by a week before Less than a week after Thanksgiving, this man out here killing the kid. Supposed to have turkey and supposed to still be eating leftovers. He's supposed to still be eating leftovers. Y'all need to be looking at all of this because all of this matters. This showing you, look at the whole mentality. Look at the fullness of it. This man's supposed to be still eating leftovers. Instead of eating leftovers, you know what he doing? You know what he was doing? Kill it. He killed the kid, man. Killed the kid. And now you wonder why people hissing at America like a cat. You know why we hissing at your country like a cat? Because you're evil. That's why we're hissing at you like a cat. Sitting up, killing kids, man. And you still call yourself doing, you think you're a hero. You still think you're a hero, huh? Man, you so delusional. It's laughable. You think you're a hero. All right.